welcome back. In this episode of Professor in Progress, I'm going to be talking about how I use videos as part of my research methodology, particularly handing control of the camera over to my research participants, in this case being mainly primary school aged children. So if you take a look at my channel, you'll see there's 4 videos I posted last week of kids playing together. Those videos are kind of the motivation for me doing this vlog. So I thought I should just sort of explain the context of those videos. So those videos feature a grade 1 girl and a grade 2 girl doing sort of an improvised sketch that they just decided they wanted me to film in the spur of the moment. So the context being, I had just got back from a trip to Bangkok, so I'd been away for about a week and I was still unpacking my stuff in my room, and these 2 kids came to say hello and catch up, see how I was going. And we'd just been talking about my trip to Bangkok and what I got up to. I went to a wedding there. So after we were done filming this sketch, the kids actually asked me to put it on YouTube so that they could show other people and things like that. So I was originally going to kind of take my time and put some subtitles on extracts and edit them into a vlog and try and cover most of the content that way. But the kids kept pestering me throughout the week to, have you put it on YouTube yet? Have you put it on YouTube yet? So I decided to just upload the videos as is. And I'll just do a few snippets in here along with some other stuff. So the first episode of the sketch is kind of in 2 parts. The first part is just 2 friends run into each other and they decide to go and pick flowers together, and then they take their bikes and they go and do that. They come back and then the older girl remembers that she has to help organize a wedding, and then you see this scene. So what just happened there, I feel like the kids were riffing off part of our conversation before we were filming, because we were talking about how these kids and a lot of the other people at the village, they saw pictures on Facebook from the wedding that I went to in Bangkok, and a lot of people thought that I was getting married because I was there with my girlfriend and we were both in traditional Thai outfits, looking very nice. So a lot of people thought it was our ceremony. So I had to explain many times to lots of people after I got back that no, I haven't got married yet. One of my girlfriend's friends was the bride, and so we were there in the bridal party, and that's why we were in the nice clothes. It wasn't actually our wedding. So that theme from our conversation is kind of carried over into the performance here. Another example of that is when they first decide to take their bikes to go pick the flowers. You see this play out. So again, they're taking inspiration from our conversation immediately prior to filming. The girls were starting to play with those ornamental bikes that are for displaying flowers, not actually riding. And I was warning them to be careful not to actually sit on them with their full weight, because about a week prior, one of the boys was in playing with them and he was sitting on one of them and he actually nearly broke the wheel. It kind of bent a bit, and I was worried that them and me by extension would get in trouble for ruining this stuff. So I warned the girls to just be especially careful of that wheel because it was a bit wonky. So then obviously they incorporated that into their sketch. So in the second episode, it's quite short, and also towards the end of the first episode, the older girl started introducing this new character trait of making her character crazy. She begins to act more erratic and do strange things, and her friend berates her. So that's what's going on when you see things like this. And the main plot element in the second episode is they're going to get more flowers to continue organising the wedding, and they also have a brief exchange about planning what food is good for weddings, sort of in general.
นึกออกแล้วถ้างั้นแต่งงานแล้วทำแบบนี้ทำขนมแบบนี้กันดีไหม ฉันอยากจะกินหมดเลยอะฉันอยากจะกินขนมไทยฉันอยากกินหมดเลยนะว่าฉันกินอาหารไทยอะเหมือนกับป่าเลยตอนที่3
So the third episode carries on with the plot of organising the wedding, but it kind of takes more of a back seat to some more general hanging out. There's a conflict at the beginning about priorities of do we clean up or do we continue organising the flowers and stuff.
จะกวาดห้องไม่รู้หรอนี่จะกวาดบ้านอะนึ่งยุ่งอะจะกวาดห้องแล้วจะกวาดบ้านทำงานแต่งให้เสร็จเถอะ
And then you see an interesting moment where the younger girl kind of loses her train of thought and can't quite come up with what to say next.
ฉันจะกวาดนี่ก็งานแต่งของเขาอ่ะฉันจะกวาดให้เหลือแค่จำไม่ได้อ่ะเหลือแค่1 วันเอง
Because I feel like in general throughout this the older girl is sort of leading everything and the younger girl is kind of following along. The older girl kind of thinks a bit quicker on her feet in this sort of setting, I think. And then after that you just got some sort of like general hanging out, chatting kind of going on.
ทำกับข้าวดีกว่าฉันทำกับข้าวให้เธอแล้วนะมาทานข้าวกัน
And then seemingly out of nowhere the younger girl decides, oh, we should go and visit teacher Dane.
มีคนหนึ่งคนนั้นที่เคยเป็นครูฉันครูแดงเขาเป็นหนึ่งนะน่าไปยื่นหาเขาดีกว่าเธอจำครูเขาได้ไหมได้สิแค่หรอครูแดงอะได้เดี๋ยวเราไปในประเทศเขาดีไหมแล้วเราก็ไปหาเยี่ยมเขาก็ดีแต่ฉันยังไม่ว่างอะโอเคฉันไปเองแดนมาสอนภาษาอังกฤษให้ฟังหน่อยตักแดนเร็วตักนี่กูเดินไม่อยู่อ่ะไม่อยู่เหรอถ้าอย่างนั้นสงสัยเขาจะไปคลอดแน่ๆแล้วอ่ะคลอดอะไรเหรอเขาจะคลอดเขาแต่งงานแล้วไม่เห็นเหรอฉันไม่เคยเห็นหน้าเขาสิโอ๊ย
So I didn't follow all of the dialogue in this exchange, but I'm pretty sure they said something about me being married without telling them, or having a child and not telling them they haven't seen me for a long time, something like that. So I don't know, maybe reflecting some stuff that's kind of on their mind, like when I leave, will they see me again? And like before we were filming, they did have a conversation with me about, you know, when I have a kid, will I bring my kid to come and visit? So the final episode continued to talk about me a little bit. They said something about my girlfriend, me going to visit my girlfriend, I think, instead of them.
เห็นคุณแดนอะแต่เขากลับไปแล้วอะเขาบอกว่าเขามาหาคนอื่นเขามาหาแฟนที่ลูกเต่าอะจิตใจคุณแดนอะน่าจะมาหาพี่น้องๆนะมีพี่น้องๆเนี่ยเหรอ
So again, sort of preoccupied with what I'm doing when I'm not at the school, and if I'm still thinking of them, I suppose. And the girls seem to be coming to final decisions together about the flower arrangements for this wedding that they've been planning, and the conflict over the older girl's sort of crazy characters kind of comes to a head with the younger girls. Oh, why haven't you been helping me enough? Why are you like this all the time?
เธอนี่ไม่ช่วยอะไรเลยนะมัวแต่เมาตลอดใครว่าเมาอ่ะ
And in the very end, there was a really cool moment of like really quick thinking on the part of the older girl when the bell rang for the end of the school day.
มีผีมาฉันรู้ว่าผีมันกำลังจะมาเพราะถ้าผีมันดังอ่ะผีมันมาแน่ๆเลย
So the bell was incorporated into the story as indicating that a ghost had arrived and they had to pack everything up really quick or the ghost would get them.
ไม่ได้นะต่อฉันไม่มีกรเลยล่ะฉันต้องไปเร็วแล้ว
So as an example of the flow-on effects of making a video like that, this next clip is from the following school day. When the other kids were talking about this video, they all watched it together a few times throughout the day, and they were trying to sort of recreate the process, this time with the kids filming themselves. But it didn't really work out. It kind of devolved into chaos, which happens pretty commonly when we try to do stuff like this.
น้องลิช่วยไหนฉันแค่ให้ลูกไปที่โอ้ยจุกไปลูกเราไปเดินเล่นกันเราไปเดินเล่นกันเจ้า
So the kids here are speaking in Thai, they're acting out characters, there is a story going on, but I'm not really able to follow it. As you can see, the person filming is quite distractible and not always paying attention to the actors. And towards the end, she just completely lost interest in what the other kids were doing and just went off and did her own thing. So obviously clips like that, it's kind of hard to analyze certain aspects of what's going on because it's not documented, like, so you can see everything and hear everything and follow everything going on. But it takes on an entirely new kind of value as data because I get to see all those little quirks of the kids trying to film and learn how to understand how this medium works. So I get a lot of shots with like hands over the lens, or there's blurry bits, particularly in photos that the kids take. In this clip, for example, you see the perspective shifts in the middle of the shot from landscape to portrait, and then she ends up putting the camera upside down. ใครสอนเล่นเกมนี้ ผมไม่เคยเห็น
ป้าจะสิเหรอเคยเห็นเหรอไม่เคยเห็นเลี่ยงแปลงเป็นอัตยาเราพูดเลยน้องมีเลยได้หรือเปล่าป้าเราคุยสุดยอดพามุมน่ามาทำอะไรเนี่ยคุณได้เล่ไหมเนี่ยฮะเล่ได้ไหมเนี่ยมันก็แก่ๆกันไป
ว่าเข้าใจแล้วเข้าใจกฎระเบียบแล้วไม่เข้าเลย So another feature of the letting the kids film is that sometimes that means I have an opportunity to actually be in the footage, which is a feature that really differentiates it from a lot of video in research, where the researcher is always behind the camera. So it gives me the chance to actually document how the kids interact with me as the researcher, which is really valuable. So I get clips like this. Another really positive effect of using my camera in this way is that it gets the kids interested in my research, and it gives us a lot of opportunities to have conversations with each other about my research methodology, about ethics, about my research objectives, why I'm here. And as an ethnographer, that's really valuable because it's really hard for me to convey to everybody exactly what I'm doing there. I feel like I'm always just repeatedly failing to communicate effectively everything about my research. Whereas some of these younger kids, I feel like have a better, more intuitive understanding of my research project than a lot of the adults in the community, because they have this hands-on experience with the actual process of my research. And then I get some kids sort of like mimicking my process. So in this clip, one of the students decides she wants to interview me, and we have a bit of a back and forth interview.
ชื่ออะไรคะ
ชื่อเดน
นามสกุล
โอมารา
แม่ชื่ออะไรคะ
พ่อแม่หนูทำงานอะไร
ทำงานทุ่งนาค่ะทำไร่ทำทุ่งนาค่ะ
And this girl, I showed one of my vlogs, and she like immediately understood the concept of what a vlog is and what I'm trying to do in these videos. And so she wanted to make one. And so she started filming me and was kind of directing me what to do and where to go and what I should be saying. And และป.1อยู่ห้องป.3 เพราะคณะครูมีประชุมในห้องป.1 ใช่ไหมอ๋อขอโทษพูดตอกลองนะไม่พูดกับหนู พิ่งเจอกับเด็กชายม .3 บางคนเขานั่งอยู่ข้างนอกไม่รู้เพราะอะไรเพราะยังไม่ถึงเวลานะยังไม่ถึง4 โมงมีอีก10 นาที
สวัสดีค่ะวันนี้ไปดูอันนี้กันได้ตัวใช่ไหมบัดได้ยังสมันได้ตัวเนี่ยสมันมาทำพินิกะทำตัวนี้นี่จีเล่โอ้
So besides all of those things, I obviously get the benefit of having this great record to complement my memory and my personal experience of hanging out with these kids, just to see things from their physical perspective of what they're getting up to, like this clip of a boy climbing a tree.
Dan Kiko. Hả? Lô cơ xá? Lô cơทำไมอ่ะนี่คือมาลกูโดนนุ๊กโอ้ย
And also seeing the nuances of how their social interactions work. You see in this clip evidence of kind of a sharing economy that goes on with the kids.
น้ำปลาจะพูดจะน้องไปชื่อโนต้าหรอคนมึงได้กว่าได้สินะไปกี่เกี่ยวอยู่เลยนี่เกี่ยวมั้ย
One of the kids has a flavor sachet from instant noodles, and because her friends are there, it's customary that she hands enough out for everybody else to join in as well. The kids don't really think anything of that, they just do that. It would be quite bizarre if one of them didn't want to share. And then in other clips you get to see these bonds at work. Here's an example of one kid bothering another, and then her friend comes in to defend her, who you saw in the previous video was participating in this sharing going on. And these two are quite close. So yeah, in addition to conventional participant observation, that is a rundown of one of the other research methodologies I make a big use of. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. As always, if you're interested in my project and want to hear about other research methodologies down the track, click subscribe and stay tuned. Until then, I'll see you next time.
Buffalo